All right, guys. So I've got my great man, Alan Ghazarians. We've gone way back. I think it's been about a good 18 months, I would say. And, one of these things I like to do is I like to interview great people, on this show to get their views, to hear about their entrepreneurial story, their journey, what they're made of. This is something that I started nearly over 2 years ago, and I grew my own name to nearly, to a big audience, and it's been a great journey. And I'm trying to give a little bit back to some great guys like Alan, who's coming on the show to tell us about his entrepreneurial journey. So, Alan, it's great to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. When you asked me to, if I would do the interview, I was head over heels. I mean, I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
I was just excited as well, and I'm glad like we made this work. And one of the things I like to do, Alan, is I like to share real life stories, people who are making a change in this world. And let's just go into the questions. So, I'm sure the audience is going to be loving this. And let's get it out there. Let's get the word out there. So, 5 questions, Alan. I mean, first question is, we're both entrepreneurs. Just recently you started your journey. My followers know that I started my journey over 2 years ago and grown quite phenomenally well. What is it, your mission statement, Alan? What is it you want to tell people, and what is it you want to solve? What is your mission statement as an entrepreneur?
You know what? That's a very good question. So, as an entrepreneur, uh, the
First, introduce
mission.
yourself. First, introduce yourself.
Oh, oh. So, everyone, I'm Alan Ghazarians. My brand, my personal brand is Alan Ghazarians, and my business brand is known as Your Influence Guru.
Wow. Okay.
I very recently started my own YouTube channel, and the mission was to educate my followers and audience in regards to my LinkedIn influence method. So the whole LinkedIn influence method and how it came about was based on my own trials and errors of uh,
Wow.
figuring out about how to work LinkedIn and how to develop
Right.
my own personal brand
Right.
and to get it out there.
Wow.
And it started about, I want to say it started about 4 years ago,
Why? Okay.
where I was
A
laid
bit of a while.
off.
Okay.
Yes, I started, about 4 years ago, I was laid off. So to cope, I guess, with my own challenges and to figure out what I wanted to do, I got into writing and creating content
Wow.
and putting it on LinkedIn. So in the process, I was able to develop my own personal brand and help other people. And that's pretty much my mission as your influence guru is to uh, develop and elevate your individual brand and help you uh, make a positive impact in
Right.
this world. Whether you're sharing your personal uh, brand or your voice to make a positive impact, that is, I will work with you individually and help you out in the process.
So we'll break down the questions. So, that's something I stand for as well as a realist, doing these interviews, but also my storytelling. I'm quite a big storyteller on LinkedIn. So coming to that question, what is your mission statement, Alan? I mean, you've just kind of touched upon a few points there, but what is it?
Well, the mission statement is, as an entrepreneur, my mission is to help innovators bring their vision into fruition. So, in plain simple English, innovators in this case meaning brands. Each one of us has a brand. Sometimes we tap into it, and sometimes we have to coax it out. But regardless, that is the mission, to help each, whether you're a personal brand, a business, a service, a product, or just an organization. My
Very
mission
interesting.
is to help you develop your brand, elevate it, and then basically how you utilize it within how you use it within your marketing strategy as far as LinkedIn is concerned.
Wow. So that's a great answer, something that I stand for. And I'm sure a lot of people here want to be heard. You know, they want to be heard in a realist way. They want to be heard in a truthful way as well. It's not just the fact that, you know, we're all after followers. It's more the fact that we can make a change in the world, something I'm sure we can all agree on. My next question is what is the message you want to tell to my audience? Like, you know, I've got a bit of a big following, so something that I personally grew myself. But what is Alan's message?
Well, Al's message basically, you know, the biggest message is I worked in corporate for most of my life, and working in corporate America, I should say, I really didn't
Right,
feel like I had a voice.
right.
And when I made that transition into LinkedIn, that really changed my life.
Funny enough, there's been a lot of corporates that have been saying that to me recently as well, Alan, that they don't have a voice. What do you mean by that?
So, and I can only share my own experience. I kind of feel or felt like in corporate America, it was very structured as to what, you know, and I worked in the media industry for 20 years pretty much. And interesting enough, which is media is all about content creation, content, news,
Yeah.
what is being put in front of the camera and how it is handled behind the camera or the scenes are two different stories.
Yeah.
So in front of camera, it's a story that is
Great.
scripted, and behind the camera, it's basically these are the rules, these are the guidelines, and to
Right.
their defense, I think there's just a lot of red
Diluted,
tape.
right? It's kind of diluted.
Exactly. A lot of, as I would call it, maybe bureaucracy or red tape. And if you
Right.
take that red tape away, then it just, you find the true authentic voice of each individual, that they
Yeah.
can express it and they make a positive impact. And when you put too many rules and regulations and do not give the voice to people, it just
Mhm.
takes the innovation out of everything.
Wow, what
Um,
great answer, because that kind of resonates a lot with my audience as well. I think people come to me because they want their voice to be heard. They want to be heard, you know, and it's something that I've been doing for over 2 years now is getting those voices heard because it's so hard in such a busy world where social media is so much noise, you know, people are desperate to get their message across, whether if that's the business or personal reasons. I think, you know, we kind of like distill ourselves in some way and everything is kind of diluted. Tell us about a little bit about your brand, Alan. So you've been in this for 4 years. Tell us a little bit about what you do in your brand and how do you brand yourself and what can you tell the audience there?
Okay, so as start, basically 4 years ago, I got, my position was eliminated after working for a company for 20 years.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
you know, it's TV industry, they were going through major transitions, and there were other politics involved in the process as well. But
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. I left, and then it, after a while, I took another position with a different company, and that position was eliminated as well. So in the process to find myself, I really embraced myself into writing and dealing with my own challenges and trying to find my own why, who Alan Ghazarians was
All
and
about.
what my
Yeah.
brand was all about.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
as in the process of finding myself, you know, I turned into LinkedIn, and I can say that LinkedIn pretty much changed my life,
Oh,
believe it
wow.
or not. I
Wow.
mean, it
That's
was a
amazing.
platform,
Yeah.
pardon me, it was a platform that gave me a voice to speak, to share my personal story, my open, honest, authentic story. Uh, so as I started doing that, I started building my brand, and more people just like yourself got to know who Alan was and what he stood for. And you know, I had friends and family and some of my networks who reached out to me. They're like this, oh well, why don't you start uh, educating others about how you developed your own brand, how you shared your authentic story, and basically how you were able to utilize your LinkedIn influence method in the process. It started off as a YouTube channel, which
Yeah.
my kids actually encouraged me about it. So I was really
Right.
excited.
Right.
So if you haven't checked it out, check out Your
Check it
Influence
out.
Guru on YouTube. In addition to that, then I started having my network reaching out to me in regards to helping them out with developing their brand. It
Wow.
was personal brand on LinkedIn, and teach them on how to actually use LinkedIn. So
Wow.
then it turns into more of a coaching and consulting and marketing business as well.
Isn't LinkedIn great? I mean, it's bringing everyone together. Like you're saying, it's changed your life. And this is purely a LinkedIn video, and it's going to go out to so many people. I mean, that's kind of amazing that you kind of said that LinkedIn has changed your life. What aspect do you think LinkedIn has played a positive role? I mean, what is it that it's done?
You know what? That's a great question, Naz. Actually, I believe one of the very first people or influencers I started following was you.
Right,
So
right,
it was you and Gary V, Lewis Howes, Jay Shetty. And in the process, as I started observing each one of you guys and seeing what a great influence you guys are each making and making this world a better place, helping
thank you.
others out, I'm like this. You know what? I like that. This is what I want to do. So, and LinkedIn has the environment, I guess, the
Yeah,
culture or the
right,
process, the way the platform is set up. It gives people or brands the opportunity to share their authentic story. So,
right,
uh, it, there is no, I guess there's no limits. Obviously, it's number one professional networking platform, eh, but it's a lot
there's
more
more
than that.
to it, right? It's more
There's
to
a
it.
lot more to it. It's kind of expanded out to basically personal
Businesses.
development, business, and what really affects what are some of the challenges that affects all of us within the business culture, within society, uh, and just all around, and by listening to other people and sharing our own personal story.
Right.
It's a give and take. It's a whole learning experience. It's a global platform where I almost felt like a foreign exchange student, just kind of traveling around the world. That people that I've met through the process, from executive leadership or just
Hmm.
leaders, from influencers, and each person has a very unique, authentic story. And I've learned so much from every single individual, and kind of
And it changes
putting all
lives,
that
right?
together in combination with my own story.
Hmm.
It's an amazing platform. And I think that kind of, when you share your voice and
Right.
how you really feel inside, and how you can, I always say, we cannot change the world. We can change the world for one person. In this case,
That's so
LinkedIn
true.
changed
So
my
true.
world. And I hope I can give back to the community, LinkedIn community, through the platform. And if I'm able to change one person's
So
life,
true.
that would make a huge difference.
It's always the one person that you can always help, and that can impact another person as well, and another person. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. That's what LinkedIn's all about. When we used to pick up the telephone 10, 15 years ago, they've built a massive platform where you can instantly connect to a corporate, very high level, to someone who's just starting out as an entrepreneur. That's the beauty of it. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, entrepreneurship, this is something that I had always considered. I always wanted to start a business. And when I worked on the corporate side, unfortunately, due to rules and regulations, and I never understood it
Right,
really,
right.
what the reasoning was, if you work for us, you cannot have a
Have a
business on the side.
voice.
So when
Mhm.
this opportunity came, and when the pandemic started, I like, oh, you know what? This
Great,
is
great time to
the
start, right,
time,
Alan? Great time to start.
great time to start. So I was like, you know what, this is a great time to start. And I just said, I got to do this. And my wife gave me one of the some good advice. You know, and she's gone through the entrepreneurial journey herself,
Wow.
and she's like
Okay.
this, you know what, make sure whatever you do, it's going to be challenging, because you got to learn everything and kind of build a business from bottom up.
Right. Right.
You know, I had to basically embrace myself, and completely learn about all aspects of technology and social media, how to buy Facebook and Instagram, my own ads, how to develop the YouTube channel, etc. It's almost like owning your own restaurant, you know?
Right.
So you got to be the chef. You got to roll up your sleeves and be hands-on.
Get
In
to work.
case the chef decides to leave the restaurant, then you can actually go back to the kitchen,
Right.
start cooking and serving your customers.
You know, I think some of the things you said has really helped impact others. And the people that are tuning in now with me and Alan, who are talking about entrepreneurship, you know, his voice, it's all about him sharing his views. I hope that this interview can also help the audience, the people that are listening now and you know, hearing what you've got to say. Um, Entrepreneurship is probably going to be more accelerated now during this pandemic, as well as more and more people also work online. So what would you say about that in terms of how this is now accelerating, how post-COVID is now accelerating entrepreneurship?
You know what? I I live in Los Angeles, and you know, it was very interesting when I first started my businesses. And about 2 months, 3 months ago, it actually with to register my business,
Right,
there is a long wait. I mean, it literally took 2 months to even get a business license. So, and that says a lot about how many people are starting out their own business. One of the reasons is because, you know, obviously there's a lack of career opportunities out there.
right.
You know, a lot of companies are cutting back. There's
Yes.
lots of unemployment. Uh, Competition is fierce. You know, a lot of these companies are hiring, you know, right out of college, much younger. So that's the reality of it. Um, it's become so, you know, and then the whole
Testing, right? It's testing.
process of looking for a
Mhm.
job has become
Right.
it's such a I mean, it's so, what's
Mundane?
the term that I'm looking for? It's almost insane. It's
Insane.
almost
Okay.
insane, unrealistic what the expectations are. You have like 600 people applying for a job. So people are like, you know what? At least for entrepreneurship, whatever effort that I put into it, you know, if I work hard and I really invest in my own business and knock on every single door, or if I pick up the phone, depending on how many cold calls I do,
Right.
uh, you know, leads that I get, that whatever that I make is my own. And you get as an entrepreneur, and I'm not kidding, I've had a lot of sleepless nights to start off this business, and it continues. It's a learning experience. Every day is a journey, something new, but you have your own voice. And what is the most interesting part of it, and as I look at how the process works as an entrepreneur versus working for an organization or a business, is be, besides being your own boss, you know, is the fact that you can make decisions to make things happen versus waiting to get 300 approvals just to close a sale. So to
Not
pick up a
working, right?
phone,
It's too much hierarchy in the business, and there's too much congestion.
too much congestion, too much hierarchy, too much red tape. And I think it's so unfortunate, because it really takes away from getting results
Right,
and innovation.
right.
and expediting the process. Too many rules and regulations versus entrepreneurship. And I'm not saying, obviously, the challenge as a startup for me is limited resources, limited funding. You know, there's different
There's
form of
also the flip
challenges.
side of that. Yeah,
On
there's
the
the
flip
flip.
side of it,
Yeah,
um, you know, versus working for a very
company. Yeah,
established big corporation or Fortune 500 brand. Uh, so, but it definitely, when you weigh it out, you see what the differences are and what the challenges are and what the advantages are.
right. And to conclude this interview, so my final question, Alan, is I think it's great to meet you finally. You know, after all this time, we've followed each other for quite a long time, and a lot of my
Likewise.
followers. So peace to all my followers. What is the three things you'd like to describe your brand, what it's doing? I mean, let's go back to Alan. So, what is it that you want to show in 2021? You know, post Christmas now, Christmas is coming up. What is it that Alan stands for in his startup?
So, you know, my business is constant. As I said, it's at the beginning stages. As a startup, it's been pretty much, I started the business about 2.5, 3 months ago. I'm really excited about what I've accomplished
Right.
and looking forward to really building the business up. I have a few ideas that I'm not going to elaborate on it until it really happens. I'm definitely open to investors and anyone
Discussions.
who, you know, customers, you know, as if you're looking for coaching one-on-one or in a group, if you are looking to have your sales department trained on how to develop their brand and how to network, to
Or just storytelling
develop new
even.
business, then I'm
Discuss.
here. I'm
Right.
here. My business. That's what your link, your influence guru is all about. But in addition to that, what Alan Ghazarians, and I just shared a piece of content on LinkedIn a few days ago. So there's your influence guru, which is
Right.
my LinkedIn influence method. In addition to that, there is my personal brand, Alan Ghazarians, which I am a huge supporter of humanity first and human rights. And obviously, as a fellow Armenian, with everything that is going on in Artsakh, it's hit me very. It's been hit me very close to home, and I've been very vocal about it, trying to bring awareness
Mhm.
into the cause, from really from a social media perspective, in addition to actually trying to get as much news coverage for my own community to bring awareness. It's a very sad situation, and
It is.
unfortunately
Yeah.
no one's trying to step in and fix to bring peace. But I think I'm in conversations with the Armenian community and how I can bring more awareness and, you know, as far as uh, raise money or funds
Cool.
to
Okay.
help
Mhm.
Artsakh, and
Right. Right.
anything
Right.
that I can do within that line, you know, for my community or just from human rights and humanity first, definitely I would love to be involved in that as well.
Great. So there you go, guys. What a great interview. It's great to have Alan. Peace. We made this work. And one thing I like about this interview, Alan, is that you come across as a realist. You did share your points and your views. And for all those that have tuned in, you know what I stand for. I love storytelling. It's kind of why I started this like over 2 years ago. So do reach out to Alan on LinkedIn, right? We can find you there. Is that the best place?
Absolutely. You can check me out under Alan Ghazarians or follow me on Your Influence Guru. Definitely check out my YouTube channel, Your Influence Guru, my social media platforms, where I'll be bringing more tips and tricks twice a month.
There you go. That's how entrepreneurials roll. They tell you how it is, but also they tell you their real story. Alan, it's great to have you. A
It's
privilege
been a
to interview
pleasure.
you, and looking forward to getting this post out. Looking forward to it.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Alan, great. Thanks very much, mate. And I'll
You're an
see you
inspiration.
in the next post. Goodbye. Peace.
Bye. Peace.